Good morning and welcome. My name is Marcia Vitrone, First Vice Regent of Piety Hill Chapter, NSDAR. Thank you for coming to this annual Veterans Day event here in Birmingham's beautiful Shane Park. This program is being presented by the Piety Hill Chapter, National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, the Detroit Metro Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution, and the City of Birmingham. I am pleased to introduce Jeanette Keats, Regent, Piety Hill Chapter, NSDAR. Jeanette?
Thank you, Mrs. Patrone. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the fighting of World War I ended in 1918. The United States began commemorating this moment in 1938 as Armistice Day, honoring the end of World War I on November 11, 1918. Congress later amended the Act of 1938 to recognize Veterans Day, expanding the tribute to honor American veterans of all wars. At the urging of major U.S. veteran organizations, Armistice Day was officially renamed Veterans Day in 1954. This federal holiday is now celebrated to honor all military veterans of the United States Armed Forces. On behalf of the Piety Hill Chapter, National Society, Daughters of the American Revolution, the Detroit Metro Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution, and the City of Birmingham, I welcome you to Veterans Day 2025 here in Birmingham's beautiful Shane Park. Veterans Day is set aside to thank and honor all those who served honorably in the military, whether in wartime or peacetime. It is largely intended to thank living veterans for their service, to acknowledge their contributions to our national security, and to underscore the fact that all who served, not only those who died, have sacrificed and fulfilled their duty. We are also deeply proud of our first responders, those who serve our communities with courage and compassion every day. Their dedication to public safety, emergency response, and support in times of crisis reflects the same spirit of service we honor in our veterans. Today, as we gather in gratitude, let us remember that freedom is never free. It is earned and protected by the brave men and women who wear the uniform and by those who stand ready to serve at home. May we carry their legacy forward with respect, unity, and a renewed commitment to service. Thank you for joining us in honoring our veterans. May this day inspire reflection, appreciation, and hope. Mrs. Patrone.
It is my pleasure at this time to recognize our program participants who have come here today to honor our veterans and first responders. Mayor Clinton Baller from the City of Birmingham, Mike Jones, President of the Detroit Metro Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution, the Birmingham Police Department, represented by Nick Crum and Malik Humes, will act as the honor guard for the wreath-laying ceremonies. Vocalist Samantha Stafford will sing the national anthem and America the Beautiful. Randy Olnick and Frank Stazza will play the bagpipes. Lynn Popa from the Ezra Parker Chapter, NSDAR, will play the bugle. The color guard of the Civil Air Patrol cadets from Oakland Composite Squadron, Captain John Repka, Cadet Atwater, Cadet Boucher, and Cadet Pridehome. Please stand if you are able for the posting of the colors. And Civil Air Patrol, will you please post the colors? Please remain standing while Dorinda McCourt, 2nd Vice Regent, Piety Hill Chapter, leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, Samantha Stafford will sing the national anthem. Samantha?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. That was beautiful. You may be seated. Mrs. Lori Huber, Chaplain, Piety Hill Chapter, NSDAR, please give the invocation.
Today we gather, united in deep gratitude and unwavering respect for our veterans. Veterans Day is a time to honor our American veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. Let us also remember our first responders who serve our communities with dedication and bravery every day. Keep us safe and support in times of need. Let us be in prayer. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, we praise you for your presence with us today and with those who serve and have served our country at home and on foreign shores in times of peace and times of war. We give special thanks for our American heroes who, from our beginning as a nation, have paid the supreme sacrifice. Our hearts are filled with gratitude for those to whom we owe so much. Help us to show our appreciation by loving our country, by supporting its Constitution, by obeying its laws, and by respecting its flag. As we gather together today, may we not take our freedom as lightly, including this right to gather as a group and the privilege to pray together. Make us aware of those in other countries who struggle for food, shelter, even for life itself. As we gather today, give us grateful hearts for our wonderful heritage. Help us to realize our responsibility, keeping the fires of patriotism glowing bright. Lord God of hosts, be with us yet, lest we forget. Amen.
To the American soldiers who shot their rifles for me, I can never give you enough thanks. To the American sailors who fought from the decks of their ships for me, I can never give you enough thanks. To the American Marines who fought in every possible way, I can never give you enough thanks. To the American pilots who flew their planes and shot down the enemy, I can never give you enough thanks. To all the families who lost their loved ones in all of the wars, I can never give you enough thanks for the sacrifice of their lives. To the millions of patriots who sacrificed their lives from the first battle in 1776, I can never give you enough thanks for the freedoms I have today.
Oh. If there are any city, county, state, or federal officials in attendance today, please stand and be recognized. Thanks for representing our community. Mayor Baller, would you like to bring greetings from the city of Birmingham, please? And you can introduce the commissioners.
Sure.
You have your own.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here on a very cold day, and welcome to beautiful downtown Birmingham, or Shane Park. On behalf of the city, I'd like to introduce Commissioners Bill Kolb, new Commissioner Bill Kolb, and incumbent Commissioner Brad Host. I, of course, am Clinton Baller, freshly minted Mayor of Birmingham just last night. Today is Veterans Day, and it's a day not only of remembrance, but of gratitude. I spoke to you here on May 26th, Memorial Day, and on that day, we honored those who gave their lives. Today, we honor those who were willing to, the men and women of all colors and stripes, who put on the uniform, took an oath to the Constitution, and stood ready to defend our country. Many of them happily are still with us. To every veteran here and to your families, thank you. Your service is the reason the rest of us get to live our lives in peace, argue about politics, worship or not, and participate in the great experiment of democracy. I look back at what I said on Memorial Day, and much of it still applies today. We should ponder not only the past, but what the past demands of us now. Military service is a promise to protect the things that make our nation worth protecting. Veterans did their part. The question for the rest of us is, are we doing ours? We call the American experiment an experiment because that's what it is. Our freedoms are manifold. We're so free. We have so many freedoms, we take them for granted. We don't even notice them. And if we lose one or two here or there, who cares? Who even notices? Our list of freedoms is so long, it's like a giant bottle of, I don't know, shampoo or dish detergent. Think about it. You don't begin to value every drop until it's almost gone. Well, let me tell you, our freedoms are not self-sustaining and never have been. We've fought for them with our veterans putting up a good part of the fight every step of the way, and we are beginning to lose them. Our freedoms are more fragile than we imagine, far more so than many of us ever imagined. Who would have imagined just a year ago that a constituent would ask me, as one did just a couple weeks ago, what's our plan if a gang of masked men, armed and unidentified, shows up in Birmingham, unbeknownst to our police force, and begins kidnapping people? The freedoms we fight for depend on a shared commitment to truth, the rule of law, democratic institutions, a free and independent press, the peaceful transition of power, and more. All of those things have been weakened, mocked, or treated as optional lately. We are drifting from the ideals our veterans wore the uniform to defend. We're in danger when anyone in high office belittles or dismisses the service of America's military. We're in danger when members of the military begin to lose faith in their leaders. To undermine and politicize military service and the institutions that support it dishonors veterans and rattles the foundations of our democracy. So Veterans Day can't only be about saying thank you. Gratitude is important, but it's not enough. The most meaningful way to honor veterans is to live in a way worthy of what they defended, and to teach our children to live that way. Teach your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren about our freedoms, that not everyone on earth is as lucky as we are. Teach them not to take those freedoms for granted, especially now when disinformation spreads quickly and faith in democracy erodes slowly. We can look to first-generation immigrants, Americans by choice, who know from experience how rare and precious our freedoms are. They don't take them for granted, and no one should. Our founding documents, which gave us many of those freedoms, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, they aren't museum pieces. They're living promises. Every generation must claim them, protect them, and pass them on. Veterans stood watch over their promise. We, as citizens, must stand watch over them too. That means doing the basic work of citizenship. Vote in every election. Hold your leaders accountable. Speak up against injustice. And protect the rights of others as strongly as you protect your own. Civic participation is grassroots service. It is how ordinary people defend freedom every day. If we don't do those things, if we give in to apathy, to conspiracy theories, to the erosion of civic norms, then we chip away at the country our veterans served and insult their service and sacrifice. So as you enjoy this peaceful place today, free, in a free community, try to make this more than a ceremony. Try to make it a recommitment to our veterans, to our values, and to each other. Promise to be the kinds of citizens worthy of the men and women who wore the uniform. And say to our veterans, thank you for your service, your courage, and your example. We honor you, and we will do our part. Thank you, and God bless America.
Thank you, Mayor Baller. Thank you. President Jones, would you like to say a few words on behalf of the Detroit Metro Chapter, Sons of the American Revolution? Mike Jones?
Thank you, Jeanette. Good morning. I'm honored to speak with you today as President of the Sons of the American Revolution. This marks the 250th anniversary of armed services, the Navy, Marines, and Army, and the beginning of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. I'm also proud to say that I'm a veteran representing those who have served. I have a legacy of service in my family. Military service runs deep. I've only recently become to appreciate just how long that tradition has lasted. I served during the Vietnam era. My uncle, John W. Jones, served in the Korean War, and sadly, he did not return. My father fought in Europe, World War II. Grandfathers were too old for World War I. During the Civil War, my great-grandfather wore the gray, and another great-grandfather wore the blue. Perhaps they were hedging their bets. Our ancestors fought in the War of 1812, and 3 of my great-grandfathers served in the Revolutionary War. They were among our first veterans. Revolutionary story I have. Last month, I read the account of my great-great-grandfather, Martin Hammock, who served in the Revolutionary War. He was 75 years old when he applied for his pension. He couldn't read or write. A friend recorded his words for him 50 years after his service. Martin told how he guarded Hessian and British prisoners in Maryland for 2 years until their release, serving under a Colonel Taylor's regiment of guards. Later, he fought under General Anthony Wayne at Yorktown. When Cornwallis surrendered, Martin's obligation to serve was complete. But when he applied for his pension years later, the government agent denied his request. simply not believing his account. That was all it took back then to refuse a veteran's claim. Today, Revolutionary War records have confirmed Martin's service, including his pay records under Colonel Taylor's command. We have come a long way since then. Today, we do a much better job caring for the men and women of our armed services. Let's make sure we continue that good work, and to all who have served, thank you.
Okay. We already thanked President Jones. I always love to hear those stories. They never get old. Thank you. We would like to recognize the veterans who are here with us today. Would you please come to the front to be introduced with your name, branch of service, and the era you served? And then please remain up here so that we can take a group photo. So with those people who are veterans, would you like to come up? And we would like to honor you. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Oh, got a lot. Okay, wonderful.
Unless there's a veteran
Okay,
here at the front.
where is the
Okay, we'll start at this end while everyone else is still congregating. Your name, sir, and what branch?
Colonel Rob Heatherly, U.S. Army, still serving.
Thank you for your service.
Joel Collin, U.S. Air Force, GWAT.
Thank you, sir.
Joel Loudy, Lieutenant, U.S. Army, Vietnam.
Jim Suhay, U.S. Army Infantry, Vietnam.
Mike Steingold, 3rd Division, Europe, Vietnam era.
Chris White, Army, Cold War veteran.
Mike Jones, Vietnam era, Fairbanks, Alaska.
Arne Glassman, 1956, U.S. Army, Corps of Engineers.
Julian Martinez, Navy, Cold War, I guess.
Joe Schollenberg, U.S. Army, 1965-67.
Sandy Larson, Army, hoorah, Gulf War.
Jeff Hockman, U.S. Army, 1968 to 1970, Washington, D.C.
And our World War II veteran here.
I was in the Navy, World War II, 1944, 1946. In the Navy.
Terry Marisi, U.S. Army, 80s and 90s.
What a great bunch of veterans here. Show our appreciation. Thank you, gentlemen.
That was wonderful. Let's give them another big round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The City of Birmingham Police Honor Guard will now assist the Piety Hill Chapter Regent, Jeanette Keats and Mike Jones, President of the Detroit Metro Chapter, SAR, in placing a wreath in front of the Civil War Monument. Mr. Randy Olenek and Frank Stanza will play the bagpipes, and they will play Abide With Me. Thank you. That was beautiful. Got it all back? No, it's me. Yeah, okay. It is my honor and privilege to introduce a distinguished veteran and dedicated advocate for military families. Originally from Grayling, Michigan, Mr. Joel Collins served 10 years of active duty in the United States Air Force as Staff Sergeant in the Munitions Systems career field, known proudly as AMMO. His service took him across the globe with assignments in South Korea and at Hill Air Force Base in Utah, as well as 2 deployments in Afghanistan. While stationed in Utah, Mr. Collin helped set up Havoc K9. Sorry. That's okay. Okay. I thought I was too close. Havoc K9, a nonprofit organization committed to training local law enforcement canines and their handlers, a testament to his ongoing commitment to service and community. After completing his military career, Mr. Collin returned to Michigan to pursue higher education. He began at Washtenaw Community College and went on to earn a degree in communication and media from the University of Michigan, where he also studied Chinese and completed the Capo sales program at the Ross School of Business. Today, he continues to serve those who serve, working with the Fisher House team to support military families and veterans across our state. Please join me in giving a warm, warm welcome to our speaker, Mr. Joel Collin.
Thank you, everyone. What an honor it is to be here amongst all of you, and thank you, Jeanette, for the invite. Just a show of hands around here in the audience, how many of you are familiar with Fisher House? Excellent, excellent. All right, a good portion of you. Well, for those that don't, I'm gonna go back in time a little bit to a story about the founder. When World War II broke out, a young man named Zachary Fisher had opted to want to join up to serve his country along with so many other young men and women. Unfortunately for him, he suffered a construction accident as a teen, mangled his leg, and so he was 4F'd, not able to serve. And that was a big deal back then, you know. So he kind of had this survivor's guilt of never having served his country like so many others. However, him and his brothers had a very successful construction company called Fisher Brothers Construction. They built a lot of the skyline in New York City that still stands today. Fast forward, Zachary was looking for ways to give back to those who did serve. He was part of all sorts of giving organizations related to military and their family members. Now, when you do things like that, you start getting noticed by certain higher-ups within the government and the state reps. And so we'll fast forward to the late 80s. Zachary Fisher and his wife Elizabeth were invited on a tour of Bethesda Naval Hospital, now known as Walter Reed. And on that tour, with one of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Trost at the time, and his wife, they went off on their tours. The husbands went off on their own special tour, and those who served in the military know how those go, right? It's, let's go look at this beautiful painted wall, look at that grass, it's super green, you know, everything's very rigid and strict. However, Elizabeth and the Admiral's wife went on a different tour to see more around the hospital and the ins and outs of what's going on. Elizabeth asked a simple question when she noticed that the families were all over the place in the hospital while their service members were receiving care. And she asked, where do they stay while their loved ones are being taken care of? The Admiral's wife said, well, let me show you. Glance out over to the parking lot, and there's a sea of cars with spouses and young children sleeping and living out of those cars while their loved one is hospitalized. So while they were being taken care of, no one was taking care of their families. So Elizabeth went back to the husband tour group, and she said to Zachary, I found a problem here, and I want you to fix it. And like any good husband, Zachary's response was, yes, dear. So they go to the Admiral, and Zachary says to the Admiral, you know, we've identified a problem, and I'd like to fix it for you. The Admiral says, great. Cut us a check. We'll get started on it right away. Zachary said, hold on, let's pump the brakes here. I'm in the construction business. This is what I do. I want to hire professional architects and designers. I want to build a place that's very special and worthy of the men and women who serve this country and their families. However, I'm not an innkeeper, nor am I a hospital administrator. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to build these comfort homes and gift them to you to operate. And that has been the start of this public-private partnership that is Fisher House. The first 20 Fisher Houses were built out of Zachary and Elizabeth's own pocket before they set up a foundation to start collecting donations and funds. Today, I'm proud to say that we currently have 101 Fisher Houses in operation across the country. That includes 2 in Germany and 1 in England. Now, these homes are temporary lodging homes on or near major VA medical centers or DoD medical centers. It's a place for the loved ones of the veteran or military member being hospitalized to be able to stay close by without having to incur any financial burdens from lodging, meals, travel, those kinds of things. Because we at Fisher House believe that no one should have to go into their pocket to be there for a loved one. Today, we have 2 houses in the state of Michigan. We have a house in Ann Arbor on the backside of the VA campus there. That's been open since 2020. As of to date, it's served over 12,000 individuals and 6,000 families. Recently, this past February, we opened the doors to a new Fisher House in Michigan for the Detroit John Dingle VA. So if you're on Woodward and you're driving down the road, you'll see a great big 3-story brick house, and that is the new location. Together, the two houses combined offer 11,680 nights of free lodging for the veterans and their family members. There's not a limit to how long you can stay at one of these houses. It's however long the need is there. It could be a couple days, could be a couple weeks. It could be like a guest we had over this past winter who was there for 219 consecutive days. And people had stayed at Fisher Houses even longer than that in other locations. And all this is made possible by the support of the community members such as yourselves. You help us, Fisher House, Michigan, raise the funds to support the folks in the house to make sure that they have everything they need. From clothes, if they came in the same day with nothing but the clothes on their back, we'll make sure that there are clothes there for them. If they're hungry, we make sure the fridges are stocked for food. We have folks who volunteer come in and cook meals for the guests in the houses. We celebrate holidays, anniversaries, special occasions for the folks that are there. We believe that a family's love is good medicine, and to have them close by can make or break all the difference. I'd like to give a special thank you to all the veterans in the audience. We're stubborn at times, and sometimes we don't use the benefits and the services to our advantage. I'm here to tell you that if you're a veteran and you're receiving care through the VA or the DOD, your family can qualify to stay at the Fisher House. It's not a man of financial barriers. It's not a you make certain amount, you don't qualify. This is for all the veterans and all their families. We don't want people thinking that they're taking a spot from someone else. If the house is ever full, us at Fisher House, Michigan, we have funds set aside and we have contracts with hotels in the local areas. All right? There's always room at the inn. All right? So never self-select yourself out of this. And if all of you could do me a favor and just tell someone today who maybe you don't know, just ask them if they've ever heard of the Fisher House. And just kind of give them a little insight into that world and what it means in the service for our veterans and their family members. I could go on and on about Fisher House, but thank you guys so much for allowing me to speak today. If you have any questions, I'll still be around. Feel free to talk to me offline. Thank you so much, and it was an honor and a privilege to be here today.
Must be back here. So we need a picture. Where am I? Thank you. Thank you, Joel. I had something to say here. All right. Thank you, Joel, for your inspirational remarks and for sharing the mission of Fisher House, Michigan. Your words have deepened our understanding of the sacrifices made by our veterans and the vital support offered to their families. On behalf of the Piety Hill Chapter, National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, it is our honor to present you with a donation to Fisher House, Michigan, along with a certificate of appreciation. And I will find this here. There's this. And we have a certificate, and I'm sure we need a picture. There we go. Here's our. You hold it. There you go. Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, you get this. Put it away.
These are yours.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And now it's my pleasure to invite Samantha Stafford up here to the podium to sing America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain. O purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. That was beautiful. At this time, I'm asking Mr. Randy Olnick and Mr. Frank Stanza to play Amazing Grace as the Piety Hill Chapter Regent, Jeanette Keats, and Mike Jones, President of the Detroit Metro Chapter SAR, is accompanied by the City of Birmingham police officers to place a wreath at the World War II monument. Thank you, Ms. Popa. Mrs. Lori Huber, Chaplain, Piety Hill Chapter, please give the benediction.
Lord God, remind us that the world is yours and that you have promised that whosoever loves the brothers and sisters lives in your light and will not stumble. And however far we journey this day and all our days, we will never wander beyond your loving care. Amen. And Godspeed.
Thank you, Mrs. Huber. I'd like to invite all of you, please join us across the street at the Baldwin Public Library for some light refreshments in the Rotary Donor Room located on the lower level until about 12:30 when we'll have our business meeting. Thank you everyone for coming. It was a pleasure to be here, cold, and thank you especially because it's so cold.